Hello awesome people, what is going on? It is BradPhusion here and welcome back to more Space Engineers Ascension. So, in the last episode, I did have a few issues with the game, but a lot of them seem to be resolved right now, and I was actually waiting for Space Engineers to hopefully update before recording, so whilst I was waiting, I decided to go ahead and do all those thruster management rework that I actually said I was going to do. So, I grinded down all the ones that you see, or that you saw on the front, the back, and the sides here, and I've actually replaced them with ones that are kind of a little bit more built into the ship itself, so hopefully they don't stand out too much. So we do have the ones on the side there, as you just had seen. These ones did cost a little bit more resources than I actually initially thought, so I did actually have to go and mine a fair amount of gold just to get those last few components actually built. Now, for the back thrusters, I didn't build anything too big, at least not just yet, because I'm not at that point where I have enough resources to justify building overly large thrusters. So what I've done is I've actually just added another 2 layers here of these thrusters that should hopefully give us the speed we need to move on at a decent pace. And again, this is a large ship, so I wouldn't expect it to have the fastest speed in the world. Now, again, I have added other thrusters as well. I'm not too sure if I added any here, did I? No, I didn't. I didn't think I would. I did add some to the front side as to actually slow us down a little bit more efficiently, as you can see just here. So we do have a little bit more than we initially had. So again, I did do a little bit more mining, but again, I was waiting for this Space Engineers update, and I didn't really want to bore you guys with me just basically welding for the past hour or so, or however long it's actually been. And the thrusters on the top, you can see that I've only added a few. I didn't really want to go overboard with the upwards and downwards thrusters, but I did give us enough just to kind of move around. I haven't really tested these myself yet, and the downwards thrusters that you should see down below here, if we can actually fly down here, again, we haven't added too much, but just enough to actually give us the speed needed to move. But that is all that I've done between this episode and the last one, so hopefully you guys didn't really mind me doing that. I was waiting for the update, so I decided to relax, listen to some music, and just take the time to do the well-needed maintenance. Anyways, get back to the interior here. Let me quickly just dock back down before we start moving again. There was just a few things I wanted to point out that I didn't really have a chance to point out in the last episode, and something I actually just discovered in this episode as well. So if we come back over inside the ship here, again, you can kind of see the thrusters on the inside. This is where I've been mostly building them from, because I can actually stand here. The underneath thrusters were the actual most difficult ones, but I did do them in an interesting way. So what I did is I actually basically reversed the gravity upside down, then got out underneath the actual ship, and then just kind of walked around and placed them all there. Anyway, I have moved the DHD from here up to over here, and this now allows me to dial both towards Primus, which is this one, and Outpost Alpha, which is this one here, which I think is pretty cool. So we can actually go to both places, which was a suggestion by you guys as a way to kind of counter having to type in the name every single time I wanted to dial. And what else have I done to the ship? I haven't really done. I think that was mostly it. I mean, if I did anything else, you guys might notice that I can really remember. I did spend, again, quite a fair amount of time actually welding. But let's go to Outpost Alpha for a second here. Whoa, there we go. Little ship is parked in here. And I think I do have a few resources left over. I don't think I have too much. Yeah, we have a little bit left over. But something I never decided to check. There was the gate closing. Was the actual components that this ship had. Now, I have actually taken a few of them out of here, but this ship actually had a lot of components that I never even realized or never even thought to check. This is where I've actually gotten a little bit more of my platinum and gold from as well. Was from here. There's a little bit left of gold. But yeah, I didn't know that the ship actually had resources in it, so I kind of ignored it for the most part. I did take some of its thruster components and some of its steel plates as well to kind of help myself just build those last few thrusters and such. But yeah, this here had resources all the time, and I didn't even notice. But yeah, anyways, let's head back to the ship now, and let's actually move our way towards Primus, which shouldn't take us too long to actually get there. And by the way, at the time of recording, Space Engineers hasn't actually updated, but I am speculating what will come out, and I have a few hopes. Honestly, my main hope for an update would have to be the composite building that you see in Space Engineers, not in Space Engineers, in Medieval Engineers, which basically allows you to... What did I do this for? I can't remember. I'll have to fill that in with something eventually. But the... Whoa, game. There we go. A ship just spawned in. Composite building from Medieval Engineers basically allowed you to place more objects in one grid space, basically. So if I was to look with... maybe that's not the best item to look at for a comparison of sorts. But the lights and stuff like that, these here take up one whole block, which kind of sucks, meaning you can't really put anything else on top of this because the light takes up the whole space. Composite building basically allows you to put more than one object in one area, which I really, really want because this will help me so much with my building, or at least a few projects I am working on. Anyway, let's get inside the ship here and have a look at this from the outside here. Let me turn off my HUD so you guys can get a better view of this. This thing looks amazing now, especially with all the thrusters and everything added to it. It's just really, really cool. So let us get a move on, and I'll probably kind of surf the ship on the way there just by standing on the outside. So again, we are kind of really slow with rotating. I didn't really add any more gyroscopes. I didn't really think to add any more gyroscopes, to be quite honest. But anyway, now that we can rotate, it's not even too far away as it is. So let's see what our acceleration actually is. This shouldn't put our power too high, as we do have the Nakoda generators powering the ship, at least for the most part anyways. So there we go, we actually are picking up a decent speed. Not too fast, but it's not slow either. And again, we do have our side thrusters here that will allow us to maneuver around if we so desire. So I'm going to keep these going forth. I don't really know if I can search forward if that would work anymore. I'm going to go forward. Oh, hang on. Yeah, okay, sweet. Let's just select all these. I'm not too sure if this is all the thrusters. Oh, sweet, it does actually work. Cool, I didn't realize it. I think when you go back to a station and go back to a ship again, it kind of changes their naming and stuff, so it makes it a little bit easy to figure things out. But anyways, we are accelerating now, so we can kind of stand. Let me stand on the front of the ship. I'll feel a little bit safer standing there. So we can stand on the front here and just look out at everything. Space. It's awesome. So yeah, I don't know how long this journey will take. It might take a very long time, I'm not entirely too sure. This is the second longest trip we've had to do with a slightly slower ship, so it might take us quite a while. What is that down there? Oh, that's some gold from where we were mining before. Right, yeah, I did continue mining that place as well. That's where I actually went. But, yeah, so things are turning out rather nicely. Our ship looks gorgeous now, at least, well, for the most part. I'm still not too sure where exactly Primus will go. I mean, I believe it'll probably go on the front here. I'm thinking that's where I'm going to have to stick it, and we'll just kind of do what we did with the with Somnus and Arcs, and kind of just make a hole in the back of it to kind of just attach it on using merge blocks. I mean, that's probably the better idea, the easiest way to do things, and it might not look too bad, because that'll be our kind of control station of sorts, and I think that'll work really well, but we'll have to wait and see, obviously, so we can't really judge that right now. But I will say, because I have been kind of slowing down on Space Engineers content lately, and there has been a few reasons. One being that my PC was in and out of service for not in and out of service, but in and out of being operable for quite some time, with the fear of it crashing and then never starting up for days, as it would do, or mostly for like 12 hours it would stay offline. But I have been trying to work around that. I'm still not too sure if it's completely fixed, but the fixes I have been applying have been mostly resetting the CMOS in such a way that, and actually updating the BIOS and everything, just to kind of rewrite everything, get rid of all the broken data that might be in there. And that seems to work for now, but I'm not too sure just yet. So we'll have to wait and see whether or not it's still broken, because the motherboard might still be broken, but we are so far avoiding that issue, and might not help that I'm keeping my PC on whilst I do, you know, for days at a time, just so I can get out as many videos as I can before it crashes on me again. So this might be killing my PC more than it's doing any good. But anyway, that's that for the PC news. But I am also working on a project which is basically going to be what's after Ascension. Now I have given you guys a few hints here and there about it, but not too much entirely. And you guys should be looking forward to seeing that. It's going to be different, I admit. It's going to be different to what you currently are actually seeing. At least it's going to be survival still. But I'm not going to give away too many clues. That's basically it. But it will use oxygen. So I will say that there is oxygen going to be involved, which I think is going to be really cool. So anyways, I'm going to continue fast forwarding until we actually get to Primus. I'll see you guys in just a second. Okay, so I realize we are coming in maybe a little bit too fast, because I kind of overestimated how fast we will actually achieve our speed. But we are definitely slowing down here, but definitely not not in time. At least, well, maybe we might be, but I very much doubt that. So there is Primus. Let's say hello and a brief goodbye as we kind of drift on past it as fast as we're going, which isn't too fast, but you know, still obviously fast enough to kind of go right past the place. Goodbye. It's kind of amazing to see how small that structure actually is in comparison to our ship that we have now acquired here, which is two of the largest stations that we actually have merged as one. So there it goes. Sadly, we can try to spin this around and use that to stop us, and that might kind of align us a little bit better with the ship itself, but I very much doubt that'll actually have much of an effect. Let me turn my HUD back on here so we can actually see this as we kind of just spin around. And again, we are slowing down, but we aren't slowing down too much. Now, we will, again, continue to rotate very, very slowly. And we kind of overshot by about, yeah, well, 900 meters, or about 1 kilometer, which isn't too bad considering the speed that this thing has, and the slowness that it actually takes, or the time it takes to actually slow down. So again, we weren't too far off, honestly. But anyways, let me spin this around here, and we'll try to kind of line up behind it, because we will have to rotate another 180 degrees to line up perfectly. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate us around just enough to face it, use our main thrusters to thrust up to actually give us the momentum to kind of just drift over there, and as we are drifting over there, we're going to rotate around so we actually have, we're kind of lined up at least as close as we can be, for the most part anyways. So here we are, almost rotated around completely. We are definitely at a complete stop right now, so at least that works in our favor. And again, not too far away from the actual main station. Now, I'm not too sure there's anything else actually around here in terms of space, because I never really checked out this area too much. I mean, I kind of flew around briefly, but I never really actually explored this space. So it wouldn't be too bad of a thing to actually do now that we have a few ships at our disposal. Maybe that'll be something I'll do once we finally get this ship up and running. So anyway, let me kind of rotate around here as we are still maintaining our spin. But yeah, so things haven't turned out too bad in its entirety. I mean, the ship looks sexy again. It's maybe not the best ship I built, but it is definitely a nice looking ship, to say the least. I'm going to fast forward until we actually come to line up at least as close as we can to Primus itself. Okay, so that is about as close as I kind of want to get before actually adding any merge blocks and kind of just moving it for the final maneuver. But I don't think we actually did too badly here. Now the gravity is kind of intersecting each other, but that isn't too bad. I mean, that didn't take us too long to actually pull in here and actually do, so I'm kind of happy with the results right now. Now I will probably have to gate over and kind of figure out exactly where we will be docking in, because I kind of want the platforms to line up in a sense. So let me quickly go over there right now. We'll dial towards Primus. Actually, why am I talking about dialing? We just have a ship we can fly over there. Let me just quickly fly over and just check, see what space we actually have to work with here. So let's undock, let's go up and over. So yeah, this is turning out, and it doesn't look too bad. Again, it's kind of large. It's not too large, though. I mean, kind of compared to the arc itself, it might look a little too tall, but we'll figure this out anyways. So let's come over in here. And let us kind of just dock in, and we'll grind down that back wall. We'll just see what exactly there is to see. So, hello Kino, it's been a while. Okay, so over here is where we kind of want to grind down the wall, just to have a look. Okay, so it seems like we might actually be a little higher than I was expecting. Now, there are a few things I can do to counteract this, and I'll just show you guys that in a brief moment. At least I'm not too sure, because I haven't really studied the internal structure of Primus itself. But I just want to see where exactly we'll be lined up, and I think that's actually good enough, so we can have a look on the outside over here. Let's go and quickly go around the backside, and we'll see where this platform actually will line up on the ship itself. So we aren't actually too high up, because this platform here, at least what will become of this platform, will obviously be lined up with the bits that still remain. So it will be, it'll look actually kind of fine. I don't think it'll look too odd. It might be one block a little lower, but we can easily just remove these corner bits and just kind of connect them as they are. But will that actually put it one block too low? I think it will, actually. But again, that's not too big of an issue, because something we can do. I'm not too sure if we can actually do it with this structure. It doesn't look like we can, actually. I was thinking we could easily just remove the ramp that the gate is on and just kind of bring down the whole platform, but that might take a little bit extra work, being that there isn't too much underneath of here. Again, not too much space we can work with. But still, that actually seems rather fine. At least it looks like it should line up okay. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to obviously grind down all that's over here, and then grind down this wall here itself, and just kind of give us a little access port. And then we'll put on the merge block here, and then a merge block on here. And so instead of talking about it, let me just begin. We'll have to end the episode shortly, but it shouldn't be too long. There we go. And we'll just, again, grind down this little bit that we have over here. So we can then line up everything perfectly, and things should go rather well. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this. I still haven't named the ship, and I won't name until it's completed. That way we get a kind of an overview of how the ship looks. But I am still taking suggestions, obviously, as to what the ship itself should be named. But yeah, so it's looking fine, honestly. I like how it looks. I'm not too sure what to do once we have the ship built, though. That's something I haven't really thought about too much. But maybe you guys will come up with a few ideas, and maybe something will happen. I'm going to fast forward until we get this grinding down here. Okay, so we now have an access point that we can actually put down our merge blocks on. So this is looking rather fine, I think. I was thinking maybe to grind in that little extra bit sticking out there maybe and get rid of that little wall. I don't really think that's too far in the way. Actually, is it in the way? I know I keep saying actually a lot, it's probably my most commonly used word. That is 3 blocks wide from the hole. And this is, only 1, 2, you'd have to get rid of that to kind of make it fit, which would be a lot more extra grinding. But I think that would look fine if I actually did that. Oh, God damn, I said actually again. You guys are going to quote me on that, and it'll just be a quote of actually. Brad, 2015. What the hell was that on my screen? Did you guys see that there was a flash or something on my screen then? I don't know what that was. Anyways, I'm gonna finish grinding this in the next episode, or before the next episode, where the next episode will actually combine these two as one, actually. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Stay awesome, everyone.